Green Lanterns issue 19, Sam Humphries writing, and Ronan Cliquette on art. So this is the start of the Dr. Polaris story that we're getting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Matt, your mic's going. And this is so we see him as Neil Emerson, and he's kind of like trying to like not become Polaris again, and we kind of see in his head, and he's like trying to resist the urge. But the new head of Task Force X, because Amanda Waller apparently snuffed it in Suicide Squad, not that we've been reading that. Director Harcourt is running that, and she tries to bring him in, like, come work for us. You'll be supervised, and we'll keep you all right, but you'll do everything by the book within our structure. And he's not happy with that, and he ends up like making metal ribbons around like all the soldiers and stuff, and leaves them that. So she ends up calling in the Green Lantern. She calls in Jessica and Simon, and Simon's a little bit pissed because his brother's having a fight with him about paying rent and getting a job, and just sort of storming off whenever there's alien things to deal with.
Just being a more responsible adult.
He's a superhero. He's not had time for normal things.
Yeah, but Hal still was a test pilot. He had to pay the bills in Coast City.
Test pilot, but he was still one.
He's not been on Earth in like ages. He's not keeping doing a regular job.
He was dead for a while.
Used to. I said used to. All right. And John was an architect, so he paid the bills. Kyle was an artist, so he didn't pay the bills. And Guy runs a bar, so who knows if he's paying the bills. But yeah, all the other lanterns that we know have jobs. So I think they need to just finally find some responsibility, work at a grocery store, stop shoplifters at the rings. It'll be great.
So Polaris' brother's in hospital, and so the Lantern's saying a note to go to where his brother is to try and find him, and of course they run into him. A couple of things I really like. There's a panel when they enter where Simon's sort of like grunting and just going along, but Jessica's kind of like saying hi to everyone. She's kind of like almost getting a little bit more confident.
Everyone's got their phones out and taking pictures. He's got his head down. It's like just march through. Through.
And she's like waving and smiling,
going, hi.
Which is good because it's nice to see her kind of come out of her shell a little bit, and she's not as sort of embarrassed and kind of shy and going away from people. So I like that. That was fun stuff. Otherwise, though, I think the issue was just kind of setting up the main conflict. It was setting up Polaris, and it was more of him than it was the Lanterns. It was more of him with his inner struggle and trying to like deal with that. And the Lanterns were kind of like, no, we're not just going to take him down and kill him, because Director of Task Force X is like, no, he's too dangerous. Just take him down as soon as you see him. Shoot on sight is basically what she said. And they're like, no, we're heroes and we're powerful. We're going to do that anyway. But of course, when they do actually try and fight him at the end, they try and detain him. He rams a truck into Simon and then forms a ball of trucks around him and throws them into the ocean. And that's how we end the issue.
And go ahead, Connor.
As I say, I really like this issue what it did for Polaris because it made him sympathetic. He's the bad guy. Yeah, he's just throwing a truck around them and into the ocean. But that whole opening sequence with the dream and him fighting back, and it's not what he wants. It makes him sympathetic as a person, someone to be saved rather than just to be villainized.
But so I get all that, but this has been the problem with Green Lantern villains since Sean's had taken it over. Is every single villain is sympathetic, so it makes it kind of hard to be a villain. Like Sinestro, he's just he's really a good guy deep down. It's like, well, you created a group of space terrorists. How good of a guy can you be?
Yeah, that's fair. But I think I just enjoyed it with Polaris because it felt refreshing with someone like this rather than the space villains.
Well, there's no space villain. I'm not that familiar with Dr. Polaris because he really wasn't in the spotlight since I've been reading Green Lantern.
Not me really either, which is actually kind of funny because when the issue started and it says his name, Dr. Neil whatever, I was like, I didn't know that was his real name. So at first I was just like, oh, Polaris is just stalking this guy, but then it became clear, oh no, this is just in his head, and this is so it was like a really, in a weird way, me not knowing that was his name gave the first chunk of the issue this weird sense of discovery to it.
Just him sitting there in the audience, just like it was unsettling
with his big galactic style helmet.
Yeah. And then even when he snaps out of it, and you look like he has the costume wherever he's at, like in a closet, like it's looming over him. I thought that was a nice little touch.
Yeah.
From the art. But what I really liked was the last page progression of the panels. It created like a sense of panic. To where like, oh, he's squeezing us. It's hard to maintain the pressure. Oh no, is that water? Are we in the water? And I just feel like either Humphreys is setting us up for a Jessica panic attack that gets them out, because sometimes panic is what saves you, right? That's why we do panic.
Yeah.
Or she's going to start to panic and Simon has to be there to walk her through it.
Be the rational one and talk them through it.
It's just, if nothing else, just an interesting visual. Like a ball of like cars and trucks that are just squished around them.
Yeah, and all the fish just going, what the hell's this? Is this food?
This?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the art looked nice and clean, and
it
didn't really stand out, but you had those cool moments, like with Jessica, smiling, and in the camera phone and whatnot, and then how unsettling was it too, that the guys had nails in their eyes that Polaris takes out.
Yeah, that was pretty grim.
Yeah, and I also thought he was going to do the Magneto thing, where I remember in a 90s issue of X-Men, Magneto's just like, oh yeah, you think you have no metal? Blood is mostly iron. And I thought he was going to start, pulling blood out of their
because they started talking about we had to get all the special forces people with no tattoos because of the metals in them. And it's and he goes, oh, you think you can get away with metal in his narration? It's like, oh, where's this going? This could be cool.
I like the tattoo point because I've never seen that brought up before with, say, like Magneto, who's usually, we typically experience more Magneto than you do Polaris, even if you're typically reading DC, just because he's Magneto and he's in the movies and stuff. But no, I like that mention. Like, do you know how hard it is to find special forces that don't have tattoos?
Tattoos, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Yep.
But no, they also don't take into account the fact that you're in a regular room. There's metal all over the place,
everywhere.
Yeah.
So it was a nice little spin because I was expecting one thing and then I get another, and it's just as unsettling. It's just like, ugh, well, that's a hell of a way to go out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a decent, fun issue. I don't think it's anything special or standouty, but
it has me excited for the arc though, because I like this. I like what they're doing with Polaris. It's like, okay, I'm down for this.
It's a nice break from Rami and Volthoom and all that stuff too.
Yeah,
I like how that's kind of just chugging under the background. It's like, oh, we'll get to it when it raises its head. It'll come up.
This doesn't feel like it'll be a long thing. This feels like it'll be maybe just one more or two more issues. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that'll be fine. We can get back to the Volthoom stuff. So.